And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson, thanks for making us a part of your Wednesday. What's happening over there, Ben?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm grateful to Scott Gerard or maybe Alex Curie. Was Scott Gerard on remote yesterday? He was? Okay. Grateful for Alex Curie because he signed me out of the computer without, sending out any embarrassing tweets or something.
You mean you sign into social media, or do you sign into your whole account?
Like my whole thing.
Your whole thing. And then it just logs you in automatically to your social media stuff.
And he could have sent out, my email is up.
Whatever you want. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he could have really done some damage and chose instead to just log me out like a fine coworker. Or at least I think he did.
Yeah,
I don't know. I should probably check my my outbox or
check
whatever.
your DMs.
I received a nasty email from Jake Scott last night.
That makes some sense.
So if that indeed did not happen, big shout out to Alex Curie. Thanks for being a good teammate. But, Ben, life is good.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, last night was a good night. My wife was off for bridge night, so I just had the girls.
Oh, bridge night? I didn't know you were married to a 70-year-old.
We're a bridge family.
Are
Ben.
you?
Yeah, we play a lot of bridge.
Oh, good.
My 8-year-old, on our trip to Virginia, she just started to learn.
Board games, card games, underrated.
Yeah, we like
great family activity.
in my family.
Shout out to your wife, who's not 70.
No, she is
I
not.
went to high school with her.
So she was doing that. So I just had the girls. So you know what? So my wife does not eat pork. She just doesn't. She never has. Doesn't. So I bought the nicest looking pork chops.
Okay.
Oh, dude, you've ever seen? They were delicious.
How'd you make them?
Oh, I pan fried them. I considered grilling them, but I had a bit of a time thing going on.
Got the wife a sous vide for Christmas. It's like the big wand that boils water, essentially, and then you put stuff in the bag, and then it cooks it in the bag. And pork chops was the first thing we tried, and I did not do a great job.
No?
But then I made barbecue short ribs, and they were absurdly good.
Much better?
So good. So I need to try pork chops again.
So then, get the kids to bed or whatever. You know what I did immediately after that? I went to sleep.
Early bedtime.
I mean, early. I crashed out before 9. And I got to tell you.
Before 9.
Before 9.
Wow.
I crashed out before 9.
Good for you.
I feel terrific.
Yeah,
this
I bet
morning.
you do. I bet you do.
I tell you, the older I get, the more I appreciate sleep and that sort of thing. And kids get in the way or whatever. But, those late games, where the Jazz are on the West Coast or whatever, and they go late, and then, you've got the tight turnaround in the morning with the kids. It adds up.
And you're just returning from the East Coast.
And
you probably needed it.
Body clock is all wonky, and I was like, what do I want to do? We were talking about living alone during the break, but last night it was like, I have time for myself. I could do whatever. I could watch TV. I could do something productive.
You're calling an audible. Go to bed.
And I went right to bed. And I got
Homer Simpson meme, laying in bed all cuddled up.
Oh, it was magic. Magic. And I was slightly aggravated because my 4-year-old called me back into her room at least 15 times.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know what's good for me? I'm just calling it a night.
Yeah, in bed.
I'm
good
just doing it.
Yeah, good for you. Not my style, but I do get it.
I feel terrific today.
Yeah, good.
We told Christian to enjoy sleeping in on New Year's. It's going to be the last time he's going to do that.
That baby on the way.
I'll tell you the first, and we can cease to be sidetracked and talk about the news of the day, but the thing about having a newborn is you really do prove that you can function on so little rest. You could be so tired and you still function. You still make it happen. But it doesn't mean I want to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Doesn't mean, but anyway, Christian, you'll be surprised on how you'll be functioning with so little rest.
Can't wait.
It's worth it. The payoff is so high.
Well, the payoff is super high, but
Yeah.
you can wait, actually.
Yeah.
You should enjoy, for these next several months, sleeping in. I know you got to be up.
Or maybe you'll get a good sleeping baby and it won't be an issue. I had a pretty good sleeping first baby. So
For us, first, yes. Second, absolutely not.
He'll stop at 1. You'll be fine.
Second, absolutely not. Still to this day. Did you catch the press conference yesterday?
Morgan Scalley.
Morgan Scalley, yes. His introductory press conference at the University of Utah, even though we've all known Morgan for quite some time.
Yeah.
What did you think? What was your takeaway?
You know what my takeaway was? I saw the evolution of a person turning into a head coach. I have talked to Morgan. I've interviewed him a dozen times, I've never seen him in like the head coaching role. And yesterday I saw his flavor as a head coach the same way when we go to Big 12 Media Day, Pac-12 Media Day, Mountain West Conference Media Days, whatever it's been, and you talk to coaches and everyone has kind of a different sales tactic. And that sounds demeaning. I'm not trying to belittle culture setting and the style you want to. But I do think I picked up on what Morgan is going to be like as a head coach, and he felt like a head coach to me, which in all honesty is a good first step because you never know, and people can lose press conferences, and it's not the biggest deal if you lose a press conference. Who's our guy in Arizona right now? Brennan. Like, he's not a great press conference guy. He's kind of soft-spoken. He just kind of does that when he's talking. He's a good coach.
Yeah.
So you don't have to win a press conference, but I thought Morgan felt like a good press conference head coach.
I agree with that part. It's funny, and I'm not automatically disagreeing, but my initial reaction was, this is still the same dude I knew when I worked with him.
Sure, I'm sure.
Like, you know what I mean? I almost thought it almost stood out to me that he didn't sound like a head coach. And I'm only saying that just based on the way you framed, because I actually thought, like, this is still like a 26-year-old dude who's out there cracking jokes and acting goofy.
He is goofy.
And by the way, his sincerity about his family, a lot of time I roll my eyes at stuff like that when I hear coaches say it, because
we've seen a lot of bad family men claim to be good family men.
Hugh Freeze is up there being like, I just love my okay.
Patino loves his wife.
But knowing Morgan behind the scenes, that all that stuff is genuine, and he's not shy about sharing it, which I think is appealing. But that's like, if he had stood up there and acted like a crusty, serious person, I would have kind of thought, oh, well, he's
putting on his wit mask.
He's putting on his head coach hat, and that feels like a head coach. It felt like the same dude, which I do think, and this is where I agree with you, I do think in today's day and age, authenticity really connects with people.
Yeah, and that doesn't have to be happy authenticity.
No. And he is very authentic. Like, he's got the type of personality where he can't really hide it, because he's just Morgan. He's just out there.
Yeah.
That's the type of guy that he is behind the scenes too. So I actually found that refreshing, because I didn't want to see. I've heard Morgan do interviews where he's stuffy Morgan, and that's because that's what the coach wanted
that's what is expected of him,
of his coordinators and assistants. Witt would rarely let them do interviews, and if he ever let them do interviews, it was in a friendly space. And if he ever let them do interviews outside of a friendly space, the only answers that you got from coaches were, well, yeah, we're very prepared. And Morgan did that. And that all stems back to where Witt was burned by, like, Dave Christensen, who did some interview where it just made Witt mad, and all of a sudden nobody else could talk ever again. Even though Witt himself did a weekly hit with DJ and PK when he was the defensive coordinator at the University of Utah. But that being said, I was glad that was not what we saw.
I agree with you.
I don't think that's how he's going to connect to young people. The challenge, and you talk to longtime coaches, Ben, and I'm sure you hear this or have heard this, but the ultimate challenge for a college head coach specifically is figuring out how to connect with increasingly changing young people. How, as an old person, do you connect with young people who have completely different interests, completely different views on the world, and it never stays the same? It's constantly evolving. How do you connect with those young people? And different coaches find different ways. And you can kind of tell when older coaches lose some of that connection. And I think Morgan's connection to young people is going to be his authenticity.
I agree with you. I think that'll be a strength. I
Yes.
think that's going to be a real strength of Morgan's. His ability to match or bring an energy level that's even above what young people have. Everyone talks about, the Gen Z hiring difficulty right now of kind of this malaise that kids have in general. And you're going to have to bring a spark out of them because kids have it. You just may have to find it a little bit more. That, the crustiness that Kyle Whittingham had, and not cruelty. I never thought Whit was cruel at all, but he certainly had an edge and was kind of hardened. Morgan doesn't have that right now. And look, it will be filed down. This bubbliness that Morgan has will not survive, unfortunately. And that doesn't mean he's going to become a bad guy. You only have so much energy to put out into the world, I think, when you have that job. And so that naturally kind of reduces you and your ability to have that type of burst. I think Ron McBride has gotten it back more since he's left coaching because he has more energy to do it. And Whit could as well once he leaves coaching. But Morgan's going to lose a little bit of that. But that's just forward facing. I suspect behind the scenes he'll be able to keep it with his players.
I think he might be jaded by Whit a little bit. Ronnie never turned into that. That was never him. He was always accessible. He was always out there. He was always himself. He had the Mafia hat on. He
certainly was not.
He was never
Whit's
that
hardened
and that
level.
Whit's personality was what it was, and he found a different way to connect with young people that I don't think will be Morgan's way. But I hope the job doesn't necessarily do that to him. It could, but
it just does to every coach I've ever met, and I've known coaches during their careers and after their careers.
I think there's a difference between putting on an act at the beginning, because you got to do that, and then eventually your inner self comes out. And actually knowing somebody, like I didn't know Quinn Snyder. I didn't.
No,
I mean,
sure.
He would know me from looking at me probably. He'd know my voice because I interviewed him a bunch of times, but I don't know him. But the act that he put on at the beginning compared to how he behaved at the end was totally different. But I think he was more like how he behaved at the end as opposed to the beginning. Because you got to sell it at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to sit there and look at the media bozos and answer their questions with a smile because you have to put a good foot forward. And then eventually, as you become more comfortable, I think more who you really are comes out. Morgan is really like that.
I totally get it.
He is really like that. So I would hope in the same way that Kalani is. Remember when we were talking about spicy Kalani at the beginning of the season or whatever, and I was hoping that was an act and not some sort of change in him, because that's not who he is. He's not an angry guy.
And it was an act.
Right.
He went back to being Kalani.
Exactly. So I don't think the job has necessarily jaded him. Bronco, I don't know. He might be an interesting one to talk about during his run at BYU, but I always thought the mask he put on was super awkward. He was not authentic. He's much more authentic now than he was when he was the BYU head coach.
First year Will Hardy is different than third year Will Hardy. And Will still has Will traits, still has really good press conferences, still really tries to answer your questions, can occasionally joke around with you. But year one, he was just way, I don't want to say looser, but I think maybe had a little bit more energy to deal with some of the nonsense.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I mean,
man.
he was probably selling it a little bit at the beginning, but he's not mother trucking reporters either, which
Not publicly.
I don't know, is he? I mean, you can.
He's fiery. Yeah, I bet he is behind the scenes. I bet he hates some of the questions.
No, I know, but he's not humiliating people
Not yet.
publicly. Oh, yeah, I guess not yet. I mean, he was nice to us at Media Day. That wasn't that long ago. Probably didn't want to do that if I had to guess.
Yeah. He's not like some of my questions in the last little bit, but that's all right.
It's all right to not like questions. I don't think that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, of course.
necessarily.
No. But he is different. He's just a little bit hardened. I've just seen that in his life.
Right.
Or his answers, I should say.
Quinn Snyder really had no interest in Quinn Snyder being a part of the public conversation in any way that was outside of
That realm.
his job description.
Yeah,
I
right,
guess.
exactly right,
Like
yeah.
he didn't want to be any more accessible than he had to be.
Right.
He didn't really care about that. I think that's more attuned to him.
I think that's fair.
Kyle Whittingham was super paranoid.
Right,
I think he gave us way too much credit. I think like you become insulated because you're the Utah coach and you're almost untouchable. I mean, see Rick Majerus, where you can behave however you want, and you stop doing things that you don't want to do, even though they may be better for you. And then Witt went entirely the different direction where he thought, like, well, these guys are stealing from me. I'm going to have Jan Jorgensen frozen out of practice, even though he's on the radio. Like, I'm going to have the baseball team build a wall around fall camp. I mean, almost like crazy, because he didn't feel like he had to be any more than that. I think Morgan will be more than that.
I agree. Morgan's going to be on the brighter side, the glass half full more than Witt was, certainly.
Morgan buys into the fluffy Utah man stuff. I don't. I mean, how long is that Utah man stuff going to stick around with everybody if he all of a sudden loses 6 in a row? I mean, it's that is fluffy. I believe he buys into it. I think that lasts about 10. How long is that lasting, Mark Pope?
Right. He's in year 2. He's going to get fired after this year, probably.
He's going to get fired in the middle of the year if he's not careful.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you.
But I do think he will put a different face on the program that will be more charismatic and more engaging. But he's got to watch it too. I mean, when you're out there, you've got to be authentically good, not authentically bad.
I hope he doesn't become paranoid. That was a word you used, and that you see that with coaches, and it's basically a death sentence. The second coaches start to become paranoid, the clock starts ticking, because then people start to have it out for you. So I hope we never see that.
At the very least are suspicious.
Yeah, and so I hope we never see that from Morgan. Yes, the bubbliness, you call it the fluff, will just dissipate. And look, it's his first press conference. This is one of the greatest days of his life. He's 1-0 as a head coach. Yeah. Like, he should be excited. If you're not excited now, you're never going to be. I don't think anyone's criticizing Morgan's performance yesterday.
No. And I'm not even calling it fake. I'm telling you, I think he believes that. If he didn't believe that, he would be the defensive coordinator at Washington or something by now, So I just don't think that the administration / fans truly believe that, because it's a results-based industry. I mean, that Utah man stuff will buy you an extra week or two maybe. But
yeah, and honestly, I don't know how much it matters in today's day and age of the transfer portal and NIL and all that stuff. I mean, if you're going to somebody to try and sell culture and somebody else is selling money, a lot of the kids are going to go for the money still. And maybe that's a way to sift out players that you want to have and don't want to have. And Morgan believes he can win with guys who just want to be a part of the culture more so than the guys that are the highest talent with the money. But
that's what he has to sell.
It is. But I do think a lot of coaches realize, I tried to sell culture too, and then I realized money was the most important thing, so I've got to figure out how to get more money.
Yeah, well.
I mean, that's the nature of the sport right now. It's why the sport stinks, but it is the nature of the sport.
It's what you're going to have to sell. And I don't know if people have an accurate grasp on who is getting the money and how much. I think
Utah or period?
Period. I think most college football programs are existing almost in the same way that they used to. Like, not spending, certainly not the university spending the full 20, and not having an NIL arsenal. I mean, if you look at outside of the top part of the top conferences, I mean, how much is, what's not a wealthy Big 12 school? Like, how much is Iowa State really spending?
Yeah, it can't be much.
I mean, how much is Utah State really spending?
How much is Utah spending?
How much is Utah spending? Yeah, right. I mean, I think the idea of the money thing does apply, but maybe not quite. It applies to the top 10% a lot. It applies to Ohio State a lot, and these schools that are spending big time dough.
And 4 or 5 schools have really benefited from it.
But even then, they're spending that big time dough on 4, 5, 6 players, not 100 players.
Yeah, the 70th guy on your roster is not getting $100,000.
So I do think like the culture argument will still carry weight, and you can recruit that, because it's not okay. So you're not going to get the $5 million transfer quarterback. Okay. But what about the other 95% of quarterbacks that are out there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you just got to be competitive there. You've got to have similar money, and then you have to sell culture. And that's where culture does still matter.
Utah still has to find diamonds in the rough and polish them up. That will be their edge. It always has been their edge. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's at some point in the Pac-12 run, they kind of pretended it wasn't their edge, but it still was. They weren't getting the same recruits USC and Oregon and everything else was. They still had to find guys. They still had to go get the 2 stars and turn them into 5 stars, whatever that means. That's still how they're going to be doing it. And the good news is the 2 star isn't making any dough. and nor is the Weber State transfer, nor is the Montana State transfer, nor is the Colorado State transfer, for that matter. So, do we want to play that culture clip?
I've always been about creating culture. Culture is what you believe, it's how you behave, and it's the experience that's delivered by that behavior. The experience has to be awesome. If the experience is not awesome, if they don't believe in the culture and they don't see the fruits and the benefit of the culture, they'll leave. So you have to create a culture that's strong enough that maybe a higher dollar figure doesn't sway. Then you have to have great support, which we have. So the biggest thing to me is establishing a culture that people experience, right? Through their behavior, they experience greatness and they don't ever want to leave it because they know they're getting the best.
I think Morgan's going to do a good job of that.
Well, I love how fluffy that became, but he believes that. Mm-hmm. And if he believes it, he can sell it, I would guess.
Yeah, and I think he has the energy to create it, and then he's got to find the coaches around him that can sustain it as well. And then you have to win. I mean, all the pieces matter. There's no one trick to winning it all. You've got to have the culture, you've got to have the talent, you've got to have the money. All three probably matter just as much as one another if you want to have a sustained program.
And we didn't even get to my very favorite part of the press conference.
We got a long show today.
Which we can get to later.
Okay.
All right, top 3 stories of the day, KSLSports.com. Coming up next, stay tuned. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1. Sounds like we're getting an outdoor NHL game.
Yeah, I think this is interesting. There's a press conference coming up later today, but Frank Cervalli, who's kind of the Shams Charania of the NHL, says, as Biz Nasty 2.0, do you follow him on Twitter, Biz Nasty 2.0?
Yeah, he's a Barstool guy, and then he does NHL on TNT stuff.
I don't know who that is. But shared with Spit and Chicklets, which is kind of one of the other big hockey Twitter accounts, says Commissioner Gary Bettman and Utah Mammoth owners Ryan and Ashley Smith are holding a press conference at the University of Utah's Rice Eccles Stadium this afternoon to announce an outdoor game, which is interesting is it doesn't sound like it's the Winter Classic. He says an outdoor game, which is previously, if I recall, Ryan Smith had said, we're going to figure out a way to do something with an outdoor game, and he has always talked about Rice Eccles, which, by the way, you have always said he should extend a branch, an olive branch to the University of Utah, something that Larry H. Miller did to really kind of keep both fan bases involved, though obviously Ryan's a huge BYU guy. But this would be a big coup. I'll be curious if it's a Winter Classic or if it's just a different type of outdoor game. It was weird. They played the last game in Miami. I honestly was amazed they could keep the ice frozen, but they know what they're doing.
Well, technology is a thing.
It is. Refrigerators exist.
I've always liked the concept of this. I've always thought it was cool that the NHL does it. I think introducing the factor of weather into a sport where that usually doesn't matter. Like, I hope it pukes snow. Uh-huh. You know, whatever. Yeah, I hope it absolutely. The wind is howling and it's snowing like crazy.
A December Buffalo game.
Yeah. I mean, just think like, oh, well, there's a new element to decide the winner or loser. I find that fascinating. What did they do on the aircraft carrier, a college basketball game?
I think it was, yeah.
Imagine if it was rough that day or something.
Yeah, right. Rough seas.
Rough seas. Poseidon was angry that day. That would have been kind of hilarious.
So we'll see.
Or it didn't happen. But yeah, whatever. Whatever you can do to find cool ways to draw interest to the sport, to the team, all of the things. I think that goes a long way introducing the NHL and the product into this market and really converting fans. I think it's cool.
Now, look, it very well could be the Winter Classic. We will see. But I know Ryan had said we'll figure out something one way or another. And, we have talked about Ryan Smith being in this kind of holding pattern as an owner that we haven't really seen him, certainly with the Jazz, have to put the pedal to the metal to win games yet. And we don't know if he's going to be able to win as an owner. And same with the Mammoth. They're trying to win this year. We'll see if they're able to get there. But he is pretty innovative, and I've called him an infrastructure owner so far. He's been able to build a lot of buildings, and he's attracting attention. He is bringing a lot of attention to Salt Lake City, and if you can get an outdoor game here in Salt Lake, he does have to. We talked so much in the last segment about developing culture with Morgan Scalley. Ryan is going to have to really develop a hockey culture. We've talked about it a little bit. The building sells out, and the interest outside of the building when the game's not being played, I don't think is through the roof. And I think that's part of just having a young team that came upon so quickly. There was no build-up to sell. Like 3 years from now, they're going to play their first game here. He was dealt a difficult hand, and he played it extraordinarily well. But now he's got to sell that the game's good. And this type of event can be a positive for that.
Yeah, I think so. I want to go.
Sure. Get some tickets. Get you in the lottery.
And I don't want to do much.
No, I don't.
I want to go to bed before 9.
I want to have food. Yeah, you don't want to leave the house. So if you want to go to this game, that's really saying something.
I know. I'm surprised by surprised myself.
Get you some binoculars and put you on top of the. I don't even know what the buildings are up there anymore. What's the building in the north end zone? Has Utah on the top?
Give me a hot
Hyper
toddy.
building? Is that the old Hyper building?
No.
Well, whatever it is.
It's the Field House.
The Field House. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the hockey crowd is a beer drinking crowd. What are they going to do about that?
Make beer available.
Open up.
So was the monster trucks crowd, and I think they found a way to get some beers and some people.
I don't think so.
Did they not?
The North End Zone has some weird thing where they've got a club or something. I don't know how they get around the laws, honestly, because there is some booze being served at some point up there in that new thing. But yeah, they won't be selling beer on the concourse. No way.
No, not on the concourse, but they'll figure out some way to get loaded up.
I mean, yeah, you always get the super loaded people in the suites booze.
Yeah.
But what about your normal blue-collar hockey guy that just wants to slug some Molsons while watching the Mammoth play?
Yeah, remember it was like their first game broke the alcohol sales record at Delta Center.
It was interesting. If you've not been to a game, like they make a whole thing the same way, and they should. This is part of NHL culture. They do the beer chug cam. Like they absolutely embrace that. They've leaned into that. I think that's a credit to Ryan. You don't have to chug beers, but I don't think Ryan's a beer drinker at all. But I do think that's part of the culture. That's what people go for. That is a part of what sells in the NHL. So they go and they find people holding a full cup, and you're expected to finish your beer on camera. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're not making something up. You're not labeling these people the way I've labeled them as Android users. These are beer drinkers.
More of a beer drinking crowd.
Yeah,
correct. All right, what's next?
Number 2, Jazz at Oklahoma City tonight. Our guy Ben thinks this is a buzzsaw.
Yeah, this is just going to be a potentially difficult game. Now, look, the Jazz also played terrible in their last game, and I'm not sure the Jazz right now are we lay down for teams because we're not playing well. I actually think one of the things is they've been pretty resilient. They are winning games after losing stretches that nobody expects, whether that's beating Detroit and then San Antonio in back-to-back nights. I'm not sure this is a team that organically is going to lose 10 games in a row because they go on a skid. I think they're too talented for that, so I would expect them to come out and give it a good run tonight. They don't have the talent of Oklahoma City. Yeah. But I do think Keontae's like legitimately a good player. I don't think he's going to get shut out in this game. He had a tough time, I thought, against Portland. I bet he bounces back and plays well. And if he plays well and Lowry plays well, the Jazz are at least going to keep this competitive. They have the ability to keep it competitive. They also have fallen behind by 16 points to open games 5 times this season.
Well, listen, Oklahoma City sucks now, so that does factor into things. I think what you were saying about the Jazz used to be true. I don't know if that's true anymore.
Which part of it?
Everything post San Antonio win to me, I don't know if I expect them to show up and be all that plucky. And I don't know if I blame them.
Well,
frankly.
I did use the word organically.
Yeah. I mean, even if Keontae plays well, I don't know. It feels to me like after Ben Anderson wrote that tweet about should the Jazz
That's why I should never say anything out loud.
Should the Jazz just bag it and try and get to the play-in because this is going to get gross because they're good enough to beat Detroit and San Antonio on back-to-back nights. And they answered your tweet.
They did. And I would like to think it has to do with me.
They said, you know what, Ben?
Watch this.
We're not going to do that.
Good idea, Ben. Zig.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of that Portland game too much. Because they did show some pluck against Golden State and ended up coming up short. So maybe we see them give Oklahoma City a run. But
no, I mean, I wrote my last story. I think the Jazz are walking into a buzzsaw. I think they absolutely are. And I think Oklahoma City is going to hand it to them. And it's the 4th game of a winless road trip so far before they come back to Salt Lake City, only for 2 more games. but easier games here at home. They've got Charlotte and Dallas coming up over the next couple of days. So I would get the human nature of it as well, just no showing on this trip. And look, these young players are hitting the rookie wall now. You are going to start seeing that. I know Ace Bailey hasn't been on the floor. Maybe his return tonight, if he's able to return, he's still questionable, would be helpful. But still, a lot of young players here have not fully adjusted to the NBA schedule, so some of them are going to start to have bad nights. Walt Clayton has played more games now, I suspect, in the NBA than he played in college last year. If not, it's really close. Probably right around 27, 28 games that he's played. Probably played 35 last year in their national championship run in Florida. It just starts to wear on you, and it's a much harder schedule, and it's far more condensed. So you will see some natural regression there, I think, from the young players.
Trying to think of a good comparison to how I feel the vibe of the team might be. In Major League, when they put up the cardboard thing of the owner, and they said, every time you win, we take a piece. You know what I'm talking about? And then they come back and win the pennant because they're super motivated to, show the owner or whatever. Can you imagine if the owner won? And they're like, no, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we're showing some. They're like, no. You're going to lose.
You're going to lose.
I think this team thought, okay, we're going to go show some people. We're going to go win some games. Keontae's going to take the next step. And now they're like, that's cute, but no, you're not. And that's got to be defeating.
We should pull up.
Does that make any sense?
We should pull up the Kevin Love clip. I'll send it to you, but it's on the Old Man and the Three. We'll have to blur it out. Kevin has some language because he's 37 and no longer cares about what he says publicly. Look, it's a podcast. You can say whatever you want. He really is praising the culture. And Nurk the other day, talking to him after the game, he really is praising the culture, how good it is right now in Utah. Now, some of these guys, older guys, may like it because they're still being invested in, but it's not like going to beat you down culture. Like, you're not beating up the players for not playing well. Nurk probably loves that he's not getting, he's getting coached, but no one's screaming at him, I don't think. So he's probably pretty happy about that.
Nurk's playing half the games and actually playing when he's in the game.
So he's happy.
Yeah, I'm sure he loves the culture.
Yeah, and Kevin Love can do it.
Kevin Love had another 2010 night. He didn't think he'd sniff that for the rest of his career.
We should play that before the end of the show, though. He really is praising it. It's interesting. I'm curious what to make of it. I honestly don't know.
All right. What's next?
Number 3, big news out of the NFL yesterday. The Ravens fired John Harbaugh after 18 seasons.
I do think this was coming, and I'm not against the shakeup to the status quo. And this is not the same as Kyle Whittingham leaving Utah. Kyle Whittingham just won 10 games. And it does feel like, again, even my wife, who's a very casual football fan, big basketball fan, but casual football fans, why is Lamar Jackson never able to win at the highest level? She's even aware of it enough to be like, why is this team underachieving? I thought he was really good. It's he is really good. He's not on the field a ton, certainly hasn't been this year. But I could absolutely see them needing a little bit of maybe a little more innovation, maybe a little younger player or coach to bring some new energy.
I don't know. Is the answer to struggles firing a good coach? John Harbaugh's a good coach.
He's just a good coach, yeah.
He's a good coach. And his phone rang, according to his agent. He talked to 7 different teams the second the news broke.
And the reason why that number is important is there are only 6 openings at the moment.
Right.
So people are calling with the current head coach saying, but if we did have an opening.
The Giants are reportedly begging John Harbaugh to take the job. He's been unemployed for 24 hours, and the Giants are begging him to take the job. Maybe the answer to your question, Ben, isn't John Harbaugh.
No, sure, absolutely.
You got to ask yourself, why isn't he winning? Well, maybe the answer isn't because the coach is failing. But you know what the coach is easy and obvious. And so, I don't know, maybe they bring in somebody new and fresh and whatever. But, Jerry and John and Carl never won the championship. Was the problem Jerry?
No, of course not. No, I don't think Harbaugh's the problem.
In 1997, should Larry Miller have fired Jerry? No,
of course not.
No. Why is the answer to fire a good coach if you know they're a good coach? If you want to do the Kyle comparison, and you said, well, if Kyle wants to stay, you should let him do whatever he wants. I'm assuming your logic in that is, why would you separate yourself from a good coach on purpose? I feel the same thing about the Ravens. Why would you separate yourself from a good coach on purpose?
Do I think their next coach is going to be better than Harbaugh? I do not.
I don't either.
Harbaugh's a Hall of Famer, right?
So why would you make that decision?
Because I do think sometimes you do need a new pair of eyeballs on it. And look, maybe it's not a guarantee it's going to work.
So John
by
forgot
any
how to
means.
coach is the argument? I don't believe that either.
I do think there has been some, and I'm not like a diehard Ravens fan. I like the Ravens, so I watch a lot of their games. But I do think it's gotten a little lackadaisical. And I don't know if that's the coach's fault. Sometimes things sour. Sometimes you have enough losses that things need, a change has to be made. And I understand the difficulty of moving off of Lamar Jackson because he's really good. He's in his prime, and he's still a MVP candidate every time he steps on the field. So if you want to find a new approach, you're picking one or the other, the coach or the quarterback, and they chose the coach.
Good luck. Good luck. I do think Baltimore's a good job.
It's a very good job. Yeah.
I think their ownership has proved themselves fully invested in everything. I do think that's a good job, but I don't.
Harbaugh should take a year off, is my thought. I won't be surprised at all if he's the head coach of the Giants next season.
By the way, before we move off of coaches, by the way, real quick here, do you know that now that the Raiders have fired Peter Carroll, that they are paying somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 million to coaches that are not going to be coaching their team?
That's why you should take the head coaching job for the Raiders.
Next year, they're going to be paying Antonio Pierce $8 million, Josh McDaniels $10 million, John Gruden $10 million, Peter Carroll $16 million, and this may be the best, Chip Kelly, they're going to be paying him $6 million.
They're still paying Gruden?
Oh, yeah. In fact, they may be paying damages to Gruden. They may be paying him.
Yeah.
They may be paying him even more.
Civil penalties.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
No, I cannot.
Like, that is why the Raiders are failing. Like any company, if you said, if my wife's company was paying 5 different CEOs who didn't work there a total of $50 million, they wouldn't be in business anymore.
Yeah. Oh, no, of course not. No, yeah. If we were paying 6 former radio hosts the graveyard that is Jake Scott's career, bodies he's just put into the ground, if they were still paying all your co-hosts, yeah.
$500,000 a year.
You'd be doing a solo show.
That's crazy.
It's awesome.
All right, stay tuned. More next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's a Wednesday, meaning it's a Win Ticket Wednesday. Caller number 12-801-575-ZONE. You're going to get a pair of tickets to go see Toto with special guest Christopher Cross and the Romantics at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater on August 21st. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. Ben, I've got to pay off the tease on my favorite part of the Morgan Scalley press conference.
Okay, let's hear it.
And one that I can really honestly identify with. Have you ever really, like you public speak, right? Or done introductions or anything like, have you ever done a real build-up and then just blown the
Crash the plane.
the
delivery.
The delivery. Yeah, like a really good wind up.
Absolutely.
And then just spiked it. I'll tell you my most embarrassing one here in a minute. But this 100% happened yesterday at the Morgan Scalley press conference. Mark Harlan got up there, did his thing, welcomed everybody, thanked everybody, then, builds into the intro of Morgan Scalley, builds into the introduction of his next coach.
Setting it up.
And here was how it ended.
The 24th head coach of the University of Football program, Mr. Morgan Scalley.
I said, what?
The University of Football program.
What?
Morgan Scalley.
Yeah.
I mean, wound up for a while.
Yeah, right. At a speech.
Talked about the Utah man, all of that. Get right to the everybody's getting ready to be excited.
University of Football.
University of Football. Now, this happens so much. I find it hilarious every time. It happens so much in politics in particular, but I got to imagine it happens in like people speaking at church. Stuff like I imagine, like you spend your whole speech winding it up, like I'm getting ready to get the delivery, and bam! I told Christian, you remember when I think it was Chuck Schumer? Somebody it was like introducing articles of impeachment against Donald, like a really big moment. And he said, instead of insurrection, he said,
Yeah.
like this big long build up and then drops the E word out there.
Yeah.
But mine, this was so bad. So I used to work with an FM DJ whose name was Randy Rose.
Uh-huh.
That was his on it. Like, hey, Randy Rose, spinning the hits.
Yeah.
And his cubicle was right next to mine. I'm up at the John Watson Chevrolet High School Player of the Week thing for in emceeing it for basketball, and our guest speaker was Randy Ray, the head coach at Weaver State. So I give this big long wind up, and I was like, and so now let's welcome head coach at Weaver State, Randy Rose, everybody. And I didn't even realize I did it. I got to the back of the room, and our sales guy was like, Randy Rose, what's the matter with you? I said, Randy Rose, what?
I didn't say that.
I didn't say Randy Rose. I said Randy Ray.
You go back. And you listen.
It's like, nope. I said Randy Rose. Sure did. And I built it up, too. I wound it. I was excited that Randy Ray was there.
Ladies
Coach
and
at Weaver
gentlemen!
State. He had just coached Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
All these guys are from Ogden or northern Utah, you know. They all stoked Randy Ray is there. They all want to be recruited by him. Randy Rose!
The great Randy Rose. You've combined Dave Rose, Randy Ray, and Randy Rose.
And Randy Rose!
Yeah, you got all three of them.
Appreciate you jumping on. Enjoy the family this weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, Jake. Have a good one, man.
We all do it.
I just think it's funny, the big wind-up, and then you get to the
Absolutely.
delivery, the moment. Here it is!
Matt Harpring will not travel with the team and had his MRI revealed degeneration of a joint in his spine and a slightly bulging a disc in his back.
The University of Football.
The University of Football, Morgan Scalley.
Morgan Scalley.
The 24th head coach of the University of Football program, Mr. Morgan Scalley.
Listen, we all make mistakes, but the timing of those is really funny.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy who climbed Everest, but he's blind.
I mean, Eric Weihenmayer climbed Mount Everest, but the best part about that one is the but. But
Did you know?
he's gay. I mean, he's gay. I mean, he's blind. We got to find that. Oh, man, that's so funny. But yeah, big wind up.
Right after the break, we're going to interview Eric Weihenmayer, who climbed the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. But he's gay. I mean, he's gay. Excuse me, he's blind. So we'll hear about that coming up.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Here's the kicker.
here's the kicker. Here's what makes it unique. Any idiot can climb Mount Everest. But this guy, he's a gay man.
Homosexual. What?
So
I mean, he's blind. Oh.
So shout
that's
out,
different. Yeah,
shout
that's
out to
unique.
Mark Harlan. We're making the fun, but I've been there.
Oh, of course. No, it's
we've been
natural.
there. Oh man, my favorite. I don't know if we can find this. With President Biden was trying to say, "Get ready, you're in for a problem." He had this big thing, and he's like, "To my Republican friends," and it came out, "Get ready, Bal, you're in for a problem." Big long thing, and then just nope.
Kevin Garnett
Oh yeah,
tried to sell Adidas shoes. Impossible is nothing was what he's supposed to say.
he was supposed to say "impossible is not," which was the tagline.
The tagline for the whole year.
for the whole company.
Impossible is nothing. Kev, we're going to give you $1 million. I don't know if that's the truth, but we're going to give you $1 million, KG, after you win the title. Scream it. He says the wrong tagline.
Anything's
possible.
And just a terrible actor, too, by the
Yeah,
way.
absolutely.
I mean, just dreadful. That'd be like going up to Patrick Mahomes, being like, okay, are you ready? What are you going to do next? I'm going to Busch Gardens.
Yeah, right. I mean,
but Disneyland. Yeah, that's right. Oh. So anyway, the next, 24th?
The 24th head coach of the University of Football program, Mr. Morgan Scalley.
University of Football program.
Oh, man.
There's always going to be a 25th.
You know what? Tape lives forever, too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, thus that stupid Matt Harpring thing is honestly like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Still here.
Still here. Survived.
Still haunting
God
me.
bless whoever saved it.
I love it. What a little kid I sound like too.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Matt Harpering will not travel with the team and had his MRI revealed degeneration of a joint in his spine and a slightly bulging disc in his back.
It's only slightly bulging.
It's
only slightly.
Jake, do you remember last year randomly when your voice was really high for like a week?
I do. I still don't know what was the
We were
matter.
having a good laugh about that while you were gone.
Really?
Yeah.
I still don't know what my problem was.
What happened there?
Hey, you live life on the radio, and you're going to have some good weeks and some bad.
No one's perfect.
Nope. Sure not. Randy Rose. The great coach at Weber State. Coach Damian Lillard. Pay attention, everyone. All right. Stay tuned. Mike Smith, who's never made a mistake in his life, is joining us coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. We're going to talk to Mike Smith here in a minute. Ben, I got to hit you with this story real quick because it is truly what I hate about not only sports, but specifically the World Cup.
Okay.
So North America is hosting the World Cup, and ticket prices have kind of grabbed all the headlines, but there are other controversies as well. FIFA is doing like surge ticket pricing and charging like $5,000 a seat for every game, which is wild. But Canada, the U.S., and Mexico are all hosting the World Cup. It's like a joint effort, right?
North America.
So one of the locations for the World Cup events is going to be at Akron Stadium, home of Chivas de Guadalajara.
Okay.
And they're doing a bunch of work on the stadium to get it up.
Not Akron, Ohio.
No. Akron Stadium.
In Mexico.
In what I'm assuming is Guadalajara. So they're doing some work on the stadium to get it up to snuff. Not a surprise. One thing that has happened is they've surfaced at least 456 bags of human remains.
Not human waste.
No.
Body parts.
Like, yeah.
They found a mass grave?
Not all at once, I would guess.
Okay.
I think it's more of a...
All right.
This was a common area to...
Dispose of bodies?
Disappear things.
Disappear people.
Yeah.
Okay.
456, in fact.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot. Now, you could imagine that this has stirred up some controversy amongst the, people who live there.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the government is basically sweeping this all under the rug so that they can get the venue ready in time.
Sure.
Here's a quote. Let's see. The government cares more about money, not citizens. This is a citizen, Servin Garcia. They even remove our missing persons poster so visitors do not notice the magnitude of the problem. They announced that the work is almost finished, but it's not true.
Take that missing persons poster down.
They want to speed everything up so that when the World Cup arrives, everything looks normal. We will keep working with or without the World Cup to bring light to whatever we find. So instead of taking the time and being like, wow, we should really investigate, the...
Where did all these bodies come from?
456 bodies. They're just saying, no, you're crazy. We got to get this stadium done.
Got soccer to play, man.
The World Cup's coming to town. What do you want us to do?
Yeah.
It's kind of the gross part of sports. No? Remember all the forced laborers to get the Qatari World Cup going? People were dying by the day. Everyone's like, well, can't wait to see Germany play.
I'm not a big soccer guy, so I don't follow the World Cup all that religiously. But, man, it does seem like it might be the worst sports event in the world as far as this type of corruption goes.
Yeah. Organization, you want to throw FIFA?
Yeah,
FIFA
is certainly
right up there with the Olympics as being
And everybody
corrupt.
thought, remember that guy Sepp Blatter that was so terrible? And then they got rid of him, and now it's still just as bad. It's part of the problem is the way it's set up.
Who was it? Who was it who made Nelson Mandela get off of his deathbed?
That was the American rep for the
FIFA?
world for FIFA. The problem is every country has a vote in FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's the smallest Caribbean country or the U.S. or wherever, you have one vote, right? So all these small countries are all taking bribes to vote one way, right? And so countries who in theory are like, well, let's get rid of the corruption. Well, they have the same amount of power as the countries that are more than happy
It's like the Senate.
Like
Not represented by
population.
It's just that you exist.
It's just that you exist.
Okay.
So then all these little countries are corrupt. And then the people whipping the little countries, whipping from a vote sense.
Yes.
WHIP, right?
Yeah.
Whipping votes. Those
That's the only way to spell
are corrupt. Remember the rep from the U.S. had not only a luxury apartment in New York that would cost millions, not only for himself, but had one also for his cat?
His cat, that's right. And there have been kids who have gotten scholarships. Maybe that was Olympics. But
That was Olympics.
Yeah. Well, life's good. It's good to be in power. Good to be in a position that you need to be swayed.
But how terrible is that? Instead of saying, you know what, guys, we got to really find a new venue because we found 456 dead missing people. This is a massive crime scene. We've got to find something else to do. That's the response.
Them up, dump them in the water. We get some dump trucks out here. I'm not built for that.
No,
really
it's
not built for
terrible.
that. I put a patio in my last house, and I was digging it up, and I hit a blanket, and I was like, oh, what's this blanket? And then I realized jangling around, there was a bunch of bones in there. It was clearly somebody's family dog from who knows when. And I couldn't touch it. I just reburied it. I couldn't, there was something that felt like I was desecrating something holy. And it's like, it was a dead dog. I don't care about this dead dog. Yeah, whatever. Who'd been in there for 50 years. In fact, the owners were probably dead at this point, too. Far more important than the dog itself. But I was like, I stumbled upon something historic. I did end up putting it in the garbage. But yeah, that point of, get a bulldozer.
I got to tell you, the sheer number is what really grabbed my attention. Maybe
significant.
Maybe this says something about me, but if it were 2, would you be like, well, stuff happens?
An accident. Went camping, disappeared, never found him. 456 is...
It's like maybe somebody should look into that.
Yeah, what did we stumble upon here? Yeah. Well, I hope it's a good World Cup.
I hope the matches are great.
Poltergeist, isn't it the house is built on an ancient burial ground?
Is that what it is?
Same a little bit with The Shining. I think it's the same thing. It's used to be an ancient burial ground or reservation. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if things work out well.
Some poor excavator who's just trying to do your job. Like, Bob, we have another one.
Well, do you want your job?
Just plow it over.
Plow it over.
Oh. All right, let's really change the topic.
Cleanse the palate.
Yeah, let's move on. I feel like we need some music or something. Let's get out of the zone phone. Joining us now, of course, you see him on KJazz, Jazz Plus, SEG Plus. He's probably all over the planet because he's the one and only Mike Smith with us here on Jake and Ben. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Doing well. Hey, Mike, I'm really curious. Everyone has bad days at work. Not you, but everyone else has bad days at work. When a team absolutely no-shows the way the Jazz did in Portland, in your experience, having played in the NBA the way you did, what happens? Why is that most commonly?
Okay, you mean what is the reaction by the team and the coach and all that? Or how can it happen?
How does it happen?
It just happens. It can totally happen. Sports are fickle that way. How did Tiger ever shoot a 74? How did he not win every time he teed it up? It's just sometimes you have an off night, and I felt like they missed shots. I feel like they missed makeable shots in that game, and it got them off. And then maybe the weight of the road trip starting to play on their minds a little bit. And Portland could have their number. Portland just seems like one of those teams that can play really hard against you. They didn't even play a point guard, right? They put Denny Avdia, a 6'8.5" guy, as kind of their facilitator, and the rest are all longer players. I think Klingon had something to do with that too. I think he changed some shots and he made people think about shots. Not that he's an all-world defender yet, but his mere size forced Lowry to really work at the rim. And I will say this, it felt like we just missed some makeable shots, and it started to go in a direction that's, it's just I'll give you a personal experience. There's a year, 1995, I'm playing for the Clippers, and I've had 7 good games in a row, really good games. And our coach is Bill Fitch. Bill Fitch was a player hater. Bill Fitch is Larry Bird's coach in 81. When they win the title, he's a rocket coach. He won 1,000 games, and he probably lost 1,400 games. But I think he made the Hall of Fame because of that one title. And Bird used to tell me stories from the old Fitz days, how he just hated players. And he said, he's like, Smitty, just be glad you never had a Bill Fitz training camp. They were brutal. But anyway, he's my coach on the Clippers. I have 7, 8 good games in a row. And we come out and we play, Bernie Bickerstaff was the coach. I can't even remember. It's in the old sports arena in L.A. And Bernie, comes over to me before the game and says, you were a part of our scouting report. I don't know why he was saying that, but maybe to get in my head. But he was basically he was saying, congrats. You've made it again. You were in the league, you were out of the league, you're back. You were a part of our scouting report coming off the bench. We had a game plan for you. And I had probably 9 open shots. And between me, you, and Ben and Jake, I didn't miss many open shots, right? I was a good shooter. And I missed all 9 of those in the 18 minutes I played. I later made 2 layups, and so I finished the game 2 for 11. And every shot felt like it was golden. Every shot felt like it was pure as pure could be. And 8 of the 9 hit back rim and came off. It's just a weird thing in sports. It left my fingertips, and whatever signals your nerve endings give your hands to your brain, to your body, to kind of mimic and provide feedback for all the practice you've done, they all felt like they were down. And they missed long. And sometimes there's nothing you can do. It leaves your hand and you're like, that's going in. There's other nights you might shoot a shot and you're like, that's got no chance. And it goes in. And you take it. You're like, okay, well, I'll take that one. Didn't feel good when it left my hand. But sports is a weird thing. It just can happen on a given night. And then if multiple players have an off night, especially on the Jazz, where you're dependent on 2 guys to have great nights, then you can get beat up. And unfortunately, that was kind of the case.
If outside of Keontae George, Mike, which I do think Keontae is the biggest story so far this year with the Utah Jazz. So if we take Keontae out, what do you think is the biggest story, positive or negative, going on with the team right now?
I think the reemergence or the re-solidification that Lauri Markkanen's an all-star. I think that's story 1A to Keontae's breakout year. And I think the offense in general, in other words, the ability to move and move the ball, and that their passing has become part of their identity, that their ball movement is just a staple of a Will Hardy coach team, that's something that you can just see happening and becoming part of their nature. And that's cool. It's becoming part of the Jazz way. They're going to show up and they're going to move the ball. And it's not going to be a lot of isolation ball. It's just going to be fast-paced movement. And that makes basketball fun to me. I think that's the most fun way to play. You get that ball moving and get 35 assists a night. And wasn't that way at the beginning of the season, right? But December on, I think our offense is let's just exclude the other night against Portland, but to that point, our offense is 8th best. That's kind of cool. There's a ways to go. And, you're trying to build a championship team and a contender. So there's pieces still to find, and there's progress still to be made on the defensive end. But I'd say Keontae 1, Lauri 1A, and the identity of a Jazz offense today would be, let's just call it 2A.
I'm not ready to crown him, but a lot of people were willing to bury him, and that's Cody Williams, who really over his last 6 games or so is playing pretty well. He's shown well when he's on the floor. He's not great shooting the ball every night, but he's aggressive going to the rim. His defense, I think, has always been solid. He needs to get a lot stronger. But what have you seen from Cody Williams?
I've seen a change in his demeanor and in his confidence. And whether that means the game is slowing down, I don't know, but it appears like it is slowing down to him visually. But most certainly his demeanor has changed, his confidence has improved, the look in his eyes is much more certain. And he's kind of developing this knack to cut at the right time. But decisive forays to the goal are a huge step in the right direction. And I don't give up on guys early. So speaking with our great leader, Danny Ainge, not too long ago, he's telling me the story of Andrew Neesmith, who Boston drafted in the middle of the first round, a few years back. And, came in with whatever acclaim he had. And Danny told me, frankly, that Romeo Langford beat him out. Like Romeo Langford just played better in practices, in games. The game was not too fast for Romeo, and for Neesmith it was initially, and so he was struggling with the sporadic minutes he was getting, and he wasn't producing. And Danny said, I never judge guys too early, because fast forward 3, 4, 5 years, Romeo Langford not in the league, Neesmith a starter on an NBA finalist last year. He goes, so he says, you just have to be careful that the game can look too fast for a young rookie who doesn't get the right kind of minutes. And I think that was certainly the case for Cody. Last year was unfair, as Will Hardy has said, for the whole season for him to be thrust into that to see what he could become. And he should have maybe spent the whole season in the D-League and just continued to develop, get stronger, build confidence. And so if you're seeing it, Ben, I'm seeing it too. He's getting better. He's getting more confidence. The reps are coming, which is cool. And he's starting to make the most of it.
Ben and I were batting about a theory yesterday about defense, right? And what, why good defensive teams are good defensive teams. And my theory is that if the team's best player, the alpha, whatever you want to call it, is busting their butt on defense, then everybody else has to. And if you look at some of the great defenses, like the Bulls in the 90s, like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen got after it. Everybody else had to get after it. What do you think about that? What do you think about that theory? It's not so much about scheme, it's about effort and who is putting in the effort.
Well, I think most coaches at this level are going to have the best schemes in the world. They shouldn't be short on schemes. So there are a few coaches who tend to stand out with their ideas, their schemes, but most at this level are going to be good enough to come up with concepts and theories that are going to work. So I do agree that more important is effort. I do agree that if your best player is also a dogged defender and gets after it, it sets the tone for the others. But I do think length matters. I think shot blocking at the rim matters. And I think a collection of, in other words, not just one good defender, but multiple good defenders. So it's not just Pippen and Jordan. It's also Horace Grant is a terrific defensive rebounder. And Ron Harper, you could put on any of the three best wing or point guard players in some of those Bulls years, right? So it matters. Like that kind of defensive DNA, I think, matters as well. But there's no question guys can come into the league not a great defender and become really good defenders. I believe in that, too. So I think I'm with you on all that.
Mike, we appreciate you. Thanks for jumping on with us as always. And, we have a road game, so I'm going to see you tonight, right?
You will. It's you and I and the coach, Tim Lacombe, tonight. We'll wax deep on what the heck is wrong with the Oklahoma City offense.
Well, I think they forgot how to play basketball. I think that's the thing they just
Their
forgot.
defense is still elite. I think they're 6-6, right? In the last 12 games after starting the year 24-1. But we'll get into it tonight if anybody wants to tune in. For one thing, they were number one in the league in assist to turnover. They're like 13th in the last 12 games. Their offense has gone from top 3 to 22nd in terms of efficiency, if you just take the last 12 games, where they've lost 6. But that'll be fun to dive into tonight.
Mike, you're the best. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. See you guys.
There you go. The one and only Mike Smith.
A theory on NBA Reddit. The OKC Thunder are 24-1 before the Earth passed through the debris trail of the mysterious asteroid 3200 Phaethon and are 6-6 since. You buying into that?
No.
The annual peak of the Geminid meteor shower when Earth passes through the debris stream shed by the asteroid 3200 Phaethon. The Thunder only lost one of their first 25 games. The Geminids are no ordinary meteor shower. While most are caused by comets, this shower is caused by an asteroid. And while most meteor showers do not affect human history, this one inarguably caused OKC Thunder to stumble from their path of greatness to 6-6. So, a theory. Something you can use tonight.
Are you into astrology?
Not even a little bit.
You strike me as a guy that would be.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? I know what my sign is.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what anybody else's sign is. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what my wife's is.
Christian, are you into astrology?
No.
What are you?
I know my sign.
What is it?
I'm a Taurus.
Pathetic. That's why you and I have such bad chemistry. Gemini.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why we can barely work together. Jakester, what are you?
Cancer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fitting.
Cool.
Apropos. Yeah.
Nice job.
I'm not denying it.
Yeah. We're going to start asking every guest what their sign is.
We are?
I am.
Okay. Stay tuned. What you got Wednesday? We don't even know what we're going to do. Coming up next. Stay tuned. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What you got Wednesday? What's the deal? Jake Scott rules, Ben's out to steal. Bozo takes their spinning around. Flush it down, flush it down.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. It's time for What You Got Wednesday. If you're new to the program, every Wednesday, Ben and I go head-to-head in 2 5-selection drafts, one sports-related, one not, and then we put it out for a vote. It's been a long time, Christian. What's our last result?
So last week you were out. Ben and I did it, and I swept him. I won 53-7 in Best Local Sports Stories of 2025. And Best Movies of with Animals, I won 67-33.
You have to rub it in. Relax.
Well, I'm 2-0, I think.
So does that mean Ben picks first twice, or what?
Sure.
Okay.
I
Even
think
though I had nothing to do with it?
Going back to the previous time you both did it, I think Ben swept you.
So this was more about you rubbing it in that you beat Ben.
Why don't you go first?
Yeah, I wanted to brag about it.
Okay.
Why don't you go first? If I beat you both times? Because I did. Why don't you go first? That's why Christian got both the number one picks last time. Because I beat you in both.
Okay. What is today's sports-related topic?
Let's go with best all-time players from the college football playoff semifinal teams.
Indiana, Oregon, Ole Miss, Miami.
All right.
This is funny because one of these teams has no good players historically. One of these teams has a couple of good players historically, and I really mean historically.
Uh-huh.
And then one of them has maybe the greatest all-time roster of all time.
It is tricky.
So
Yes.
it is a little bit interesting.
I would agree. All right. Is there an automatic number one pick?
No, I don't think there is, because the school that you would take it from, I don't think there's like an obvious, that has to be the guy.
I'm going to take Ed Reed.
That is who I had number one on my board.
Because I think everybody loves Ed Reed. And he could have been, he's in the argument for best safety of all time. I don't know if it's a runaway, but he's in the argument.
From Miami.
From Miami.
He is who I had number one on my board as well. He's the first player I thought of, so I guess maybe that does mean. Christian, did you think that was the number one pick?
No, I had another player.
Okay. I'm going to go with beloved here. And I'm going to go with Sean Taylor, who was just an incredible player, and obviously life cut absurdly short. But Sean Taylor rivaling Ed Reed as far as maybe the most beloved players on this list. So such a cool player.
I'm going to go with Michael Irvin.
Going all Miami. As expected. Mike Irvin. Good guy.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
Bizarre amount of artificial energy all the time.
What do you mean artificial?
Dude's just going. He's just like bouncing around the room at all times. Motor mouth. Wonder what's going on there. Good pick.
Michael Irvin. Well, he was awesome.
I'm going to go with another notoriously good guy. Ray Lewis from the University of Miami. Big Ray. Watch your back.
All right.
And that's the last Miami player I think I'm going to take.
I'm going to go with Archie Manning.
Okay. From Ole Miss.
From Ole Miss. I don't like the Manning family, but, I mean, that feels appropriate.
All right. I will get into my quarterback as well. And I'm going to go with one of the greatest college football players I've ever seen. Somewhat of a bust in the NFL, but he is still playing, and that's Marcus Mariota. Marcus was an awesome college player.
Yeah. He was fine.
Won the Heisman. Was a great player.
The Heisman?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to go back to the well, Ben, and we'll go with Warren Sapp.
Sure. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to go with Patrick Willis from Ole Miss. I wanted to get representation for all the schools. Patrick Willis was awesome. I know he's had some injury. He had injuries in his NFL career as well, but was a good player. Patrick Willis was awesome. Give me Patrick Willis.
Let's see here.
You only have one pick left. This went quicker than I expected.
I have one pick left, that's all?
Yeah, that's it. Because the Miami thing, we could have each had 5 from Miami and been right.
Well, I am honestly shocked that you haven't made one pick yet anyway. All right, do I stay with the Canes? You know what? I'll mix it up. Why not? Antoine Randall L.
From Indiana.
Yeah. He was a good quarterback at Indiana, but he was a really good receiver for the Steelers.
Won a Super Bowl. If I remember correctly, threw a touchdown in the Super Bowl. And everyone was like, he was a quarterback in college. Do you remember that?
Should have seen that coming.
I was like, yeah. Everyone knew that. It was like his whole thing. And I'm going to go with actually the greatest quarterback in Indiana history. And I hate that it's so on those, but like Fernando Mendoza rules. He's a great player. He's the reason Indiana's going to win. And yes, did I call him Esperanza last week? I did call him Esperanza last week. That's not his name. I was looking at Christian Esparza, and I mixed up his name.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando Mendoza.
All right, review.
Our next list is so up your alley.
Yeah, it's going to be really funny.
Yeah.
Jake had the number 1 pick. He went Ed Reed from Miami, Michael Irvin, Miami, Archie Manning, Ole Miss, Warren Sapp, Miami, and Antoine Randall L., Indiana. Ben went Sean Taylor, Miami, Ray Lewis, Miami, Marcus Mariota, Oregon, Patrick Willis from Ole Miss, and Fernando Mendoza, Indiana.
Who did we miss? Who did you think I was going to pick?
Santana Moss, obviously.
Yeah.
The guy you have picked as the greatest receiver to ever play.
Yeah.
Russell Maryland was awesome.
Yeah, how did I miss Russell Maryland?
Willis McGahee, I almost took him too because he was so good at Miami. He was pretty good in the NFL, but I don't know if people... He wrecked his knee in the national championship game. He was really awesome. I don't know. Who else did we miss, Christian?
Maybe a couple other Oregon players, but I think this list is fine.
Deuce McAllister? Am I right on that? Went to Ole Miss. He's a good player.
All right. What is our not sports?
This is right up Jake's alley. Least likable celebrities.
Oh, yeah. There's so many.
And this is inspired by a person who we may draft, so should we just not say it?
No, we can say it. It's the Chevy Chase doc is all the rage out there, and apparently he's really an unlikable person.
I've just only seen one clip of it, and it's with the director or the woman who is interviewing him for it. And she's like, yeah, we're just trying to unpack Chevy. He's like, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not smart enough to be able to do it. I'm super complex. It's like, are you, Chevy? You kind of seem like a jerk, and I get it sounds like you had some trauma growing up, and that stinks. But you also have
But not very likable.
all of the tools in the world to fix your trauma, and your decision is to be terrible.
Is there an automatic number one pick?
I have a list of 10 that I came up with
Off
in
the
the
bat?
blink of an eye. So I don't think so, but I do think there might be one favorite that I have.
I'm going to go with Diddy.
Oh, the freak off himself?
Diddy.
Oh, so that's the route we're going.
I think
Okay.
some people like Diddy.
Okay, I'm going to go with Diddy. Unlikable celebrity.
I think there's
Blowing
a
up
difference
cars and
between
stuff?
villain, like bad guy, like should be in prison for the rest of his life, and unlikable.
All right.
I'm not necessarily going criminal.
That's murky because there could be a lot of dirt that we don't know about.
Do
That
you
a lot
like
of
Diddy?
No. But I'm saying a lot of celebrities may have done horrible things that the public just doesn't
Okay,
know.
but let me tell you,
Interpret how you want.
who would you rather hang out with? Sean Diddy Combs or my number one overall pick, Ellen DeGeneres? Ellen is secretly running a criminal organization.
Yeah, but I don't think Ellen's doing that. I think I think I'm gonna go with Ellen.
You'd rather hang with
I'd
Ellen?
rather hang with
She's gonna
Ellen.
like make you dance, which Diddy may have done the same thing.
I think I'd
Different
rather
styles of dance.
hang. I think I'd honestly rather hang with Ellen.
Nobody likes Ellen anymore, and Ellen was, Ellen represented a lot of different groups at a lot of times, and everyone has turned on Ellen.
Agreed. All right, I'm gonna go with. Carl, this is a choice, right? I'm gonna go with Kris Jenner.
Okay, that's Chris with a K, yeah.
I mean, I think everybody hates the Kardashians, right? And she's kind of the
Patriarch.
The
matriarch.
matriarch.
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go with Mr. He's King of Hollywood right now. He's been appointed, Mel Gibson. It's too bad Mel is as good an actor as I've seen in our life. He's really had it, but
Well, he directed Braveheart. He's a good director.
But people who worked with him don't like him. His family doesn't like him. The Ricky Gervais introduction, I think, at the Oscars of "I like a drink as much as the next guy, unless the next guy is Mel Gibson," is one of the funniest lines I've ever heard in my life. Just absolutely horrid racism, alcoholism mixed in. It's just he's got it all. Mel's got it all.
A little bit of it all. Man, there's so many I could take, but I don't know if they give me any votes. I got to go with Bill Cosby.
Sure. Bad guy.
Bad guy.
Yeah, not a good guy. You going to take OJ next?
No, OJ's dead.
It doesn't have to be living.
In my book, it does.
Okay. That's fine. I can't believe you didn't take this guy number one overall because he might be the most hated in the world right now. And it's Will Smith.
Oh, yeah. Everybody hates that guy.
Everyone hates Will Smith. He's a bizarre...
Getting sued by his violin player.
He's a violin player. He's kind of a phony. Yeah, he's just like he's a mess of a person, Will Smith.
Just to be funny, No, I'm not going to do that. All right, I'm going to go with... Okay, this is going to give me no votes, but this has got to be it, right? Hilaria Baldwin.
Okay.
Whose name is actually Hillary. She's from Massachusetts, but fakes a Spanish accent to make herself more interesting. And there is at least a semi-decent chance that Alec Baldwin had no idea she wasn't from Spain until well into her marriage.
You're from the Northeast?
You're not from Spain? There's he did interviews where he's like, oh, I'm married to a spicy Spanish person. And then it comes out her name's Hillary.
Yeah.
And he
was wamboozled.
Hilaria Baldwin.
It was her birthday yesterday.
Was it really?
Shout out.
Happy birthday.
I will go with Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, Rosie. Irish citizen now.
Yeah, she's abandoned. She's an expat. I don't know how to spell Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie. Also a little bit like Ellen. Had a big talk show host. People really liked her. Went after Tom Selleck.
All right. And this one, I never bought this guy's act, but I don't know. I bet you got to go with Dr. Phil.
Okay.
Because...
Yeah.
Quite the list.
TV bozo pretending to help people is...
And Oprah's guy.
And exploiting them for his own
Oprah's
self-gain.
whisperer.
Yeah, he's like Jerry Springer, except for Jerry Springer never pretended to be anything else. Like, I'm just going to bring on sick, demented people and benefit from them personally.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil does the same thing, but disguises
he's
it
not a
as,
dirtbag.
yeah, I'm trying to help.
Yeah, there was some authenticity to Jerry being a dirtbag.
Yeah. He really was. He portrayed it well. Dr. Phil.
All right, and then I will just go number 5. I'll go Kanye. Everyone's turned their back on Kanye. He's pretty untouchable as a person. So, Kanye West.
All right, review.
All right, Jake. Starting things off with Diddy, Kris Jenner,
Came
Bill
out firing.
Cosby, Hilaria Baldwin, and Dr. Phil. Ben went Ellen DeGeneres, Mel Gibson, Will Smith, Rosie O'Donnell, and Kanye West.
We didn't draft Chevy Chase.
Nope.
Gwyneth Paltrow, pretty disliked.
Well, a menace to the ski slopes, obviously.
Jonah Hill is pretty disliked. James Franco of that group of comedians also has been, I don't want to say canceled, but certainly pushed out of the zeitgeist. Katherine Heigl, no one likes the local resident Katherine Heigl.
What's the matter with Katie Heigl?
I don't know. People hate her. I don't know why. People don't like her. I can't believe you didn't take Alec Baldwin. I can't believe you took his wife.
His wife is far more aggravating
You
than
think
Alec.
so?
Oh, yeah.
He shot a person.
I still love Hunt for Red October.
He's got some great movies. He's got more good movies. No, I don't know if that's true. He's just got a lot of absolute banger movies.
I thought of taking the adult novelty heiress.
She's not a celebrity. Doesn't count.
Oh, she's absolutely a celebrity.
No, she's not.
You don't like the reason
We
she's
talk
celebrity.
about her on the Jake and Ben show.
all the
That doesn't
time.
mean she's a celebrity.
She's married to Page Six. That's all they do is celebrities.
That's not a real celebrity. I would have argued against that. What's her name? Jordan
Hudson.
I would have really argued against it.
She's like a semi-pro cheerleader.
She's in a co-ed intramural adult cheerleading class, and her boyfriend comes and watches her
And makes
every
Bill
week.
go. That's the funniest part. It really is. How do you know that Bill doesn't make his own decisions anymore? Because he's going to that.
No athletes on the list. No LeBron.
I wasn't thinking athletes.
No, I didn't go
could've
athletes. I
picked
wanted to go
LeBron.
non-sports.
But too many people like LeBron.
Bill Cosby played college football.
Like nobody likes Kris Jenner.
It's true.
Nobody likes Dr.
Nobody
Phil.
likes any of these people.
No.
What a list.
All right. There you go. Yeah, Will Smith really shouldn't have slapped Chris Rock. That was
a big mistake.
That was a big, on his night too, where he won the Oscar.
It's pretty amazing that some people can survive anything, and Will Smith cannot get away with slapping Chris Rock publicly,
dude,
in the middle of an award show.
Build a million bridges.
That's true, but no, some people can. Some people can slap Chris Rock and get away
I don't
with it.
think so. At the Oscars.
That was a weird choice.
At the Oscars, not at the Golden Globes. That kind of behavior is not only tolerated but encouraged.
Yeah, the Critics' Choice Awards.
Yeah,
whatever
I
you
mean
wanna do out
they
there.
want to
Yeah.
brawl for sure. But the Oscars?
Some dignity.
Come on. All right, we wrap up the show. Coming up next, Jake and Ben, 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone.
Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
1, 2, 3, move it.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airwaves, talking sports. They got it made Jake's and on soul. Loves his tie guy, Ben's got style with his scarves. Oh my.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. Ben, we were talking about Mark Harlan with his big wind-up only to flub the delivery on the intro to Morgan Scalley, and how honestly understandable that is, because we all,
we've all done it.
We all make mistakes from time to time. How about this one? Amy Poehler, you're aware of her work?
I am.
She was on Saturday Night Live and some other show that came on after The Office.
Parks and Rec.
So she once went up to Gwyneth Paltrow and said, Cold Mountain, how was the mountain? Asked her about Cold Mountain. To which Gwyneth Paltrow said, I wasn't in Cold Mountain.
I wasn't in Cold Mountain. Nor is it about a cold mountain.
And then apparently they had a kind of a funny, awkward exchange about Amy Poehler thinking she was Nicole Kidman.
That's
Yikes.
a tough one.
Yikes.
They are blonde. They don't look at all similar. Gwyneth has like round features, round face, and Nicole Kidman is like the sharpest features.
And isn't
in the biz
Nicole somewhat older?
Older, and is like the star of that movie. She's the face of the movie.
And that was 2003, so was a huge star. Nicole Kidman was a huge star.
And so was Gwyneth. That was kind of at the height of Gwyneth's power too, right? She was still riding off of Seven. So yeah.
I mean, that's rough.
That's not a great one,
Yeah.
especially as a fellow celeb.
That's like you going up to Austin Age and calling him Danny.
Yeah. Really nice to meet you.
You were great for BYU back. Well, I guess that would apply. You say, wow, you were the player of the year. College basketball, that's a big deal. That's my dad.
I was at a Jazz pre-draft practice with this guard who played at Kentucky, who ended up being a second-round draft pick and didn't really make it. But he was in the building. It was after Jerry had retired, but Jerry was still kind of around some of the practices, Jerry Sloan. And he goes over and he's talking to Jerry, and we're all sitting there kind of waiting for him to come over and talk to us. He talks to Jerry first. I'm like, yeah, so what do you know about the Jazz program? He's like, oh, John Stockton, Karl Malone, great coach, and Jerry Sloan. We're like, oh, yeah, what's that conversation like? He's like, I don't know, can't wait to meet him. It's like, oh, you were just talking to Jerry for 5 minutes. You had clearly been prepped by your agent of like, here are the names you need to know. John, Karl, Jerry Sloan. I don't know if this was even the Ty Corbin era or after that, but yeah, had no idea. He had just been talking to Jerry Sloan.
Whoops. I remember I met somebody who confused me for Jake Hatch, and then the disappointment on his face when I told him that I was not Jake Hatch will always stick with me.
That's a tough one. Oh, never mind.
Oh, you're the other idiot, Jake.
I have met several people who I talked to and like, oh, you're on the radio, cool. What show do you do? Jake and Ben. They're like, oh, I really like Jake.
Well, but appreciate you jumping on. Enjoy the family this weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, Jake. Have a good one, man.
You're welcome, Steve.
It happens. Well, you're a tent pole.
But
been around a long time.
Honestly, Gwyneth for Nicole Kidman, that's rough.
Yeah, that's an awkward one. I guess hopefully your identity as a comic means you can play that off forever going forward. But you just went home just like I want to curl up and die.
Gordon once confused Zane Beatles for Zane Taylor, which I thought was somewhat forgivable.
Yeah.
They were both offensive linemen on the same team.
Yeah, that's
They're
totally
both
fair.
named Zane.
Yeah.
Of course, you see him on PTI. He is a dang legend. He's Woody Page with us here on the Jake and Ben Show on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Actually, I'm on around the horn, not pardon the interruption.
I got to tell you. Apologies. No, you know what? I take those apologies back. The terrible things that he said about our community, I don't feel bad about that.
You don't need to.
I don't watch your stupid show, Woody.
Jeez.
Didn't he get canceled?
I think so.
All right.
I think it was Sean Mannion who I missed. No, it was
the Oregon State Beav?
The Oregon State Beaver. Or maybe it was the Stanford quarterback at the time, another tall, kind of redheaded guy. And he sat down and I said, Brett Hundley's with us. Well, Brett Hundley's an African-American male, and these two were white guys.
And he played for UCLA.
And I knew it wasn't Brett Hundley. I knew who Brett Hundley was.
Is that kind of...
it was the build-up.
Yeah.
Joining us now, Pac-12 Media Day, sitting down on the Paramount Studios parking lot, Mr. Brett Hundley. Nope.
Actually, no, that's when Hans called Yogi Roth Mikey M. That was kind of a funny one. Yeah, again, big wind-up. Welcome to the show!
Couldn't be more excited to have you.
I'm Mikey M. No, it was the other way around. All right. We'll talk some University of Football tomorrow. We'll hit into the Jazz as well. Stay tuned. Hanson Scotty coming up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The 24th head coach of the University of Football program, Mr. Morgan Scalley.